Rod Serling's personal favorite episode of Season 1 is episode 30, A Stop at Willoughby, that deals with a man dreaming about an idealistic town that he wants to go back to, and it plays on nostalgia and wanting to escape from the rat race of the city, go back to a simpler time in a neighborhood where everyone is friendly and happy. We'll see this in episodes like Stopover in a Quiet Town, and this one's very similar to episode 5, Walking Distance, where a man goes back in time to when he was a child and playing outside and having fun. Rod Serling starts the opening narration, setting the stage.
This is Gart Williams, age 38. A man protected by a suit of armor, all held together by one bolt. Just a moment ago, someone removed the bolt, and Mr. Williams' protection fell away from him and left him a naked target. He's been cannonaded this afternoon by all the enemies of his life. His insecurity has shelled him. His sensitivity has straddled him with humiliation. His deep-rooted disquiet about his own worth has zeroed in on him, landed on target, and blown him apart. Mr. Gart Williams, ad agency exec, who in just a moment will move into the Twilight Zone in a desperate search for survival.
So our main character, Gart Williams, is a New York advertising executive who is getting hassled by his boss. Things aren't going completely terrible. It's not like he's completely broke and he's got the mob coming after him. This is actually a very relatable episode, since what he's feeling is just isolation. He's not happy with where he is. He goes home to his wife, she's nagging him. He goes to work, and his boss is annoying him, but he actually is quite rich and lives in a very nice area. So things could be going a lot worse for him, but I think what Rod Serling is trying to do is trying to paint a picture that the average person can relate to. Not just someone who's a drug addict and losing all his money and having people beat him up and chase him. Gart Williams is a very relatable character, and this episode starts with a board meeting where his boss Oliver Misroll is lecturing him about business and how Gart lost out on a major account. This entire time the boss is yelling at him. He's just off thinking of something else, maybe Willoughby. He's not listening, he's not responding, and he's just doing the regular I'm gonna nod along so I don't get fired routine. Who hasn't done that? Don't you hate it when your boss asks you, hey, do you know what I'm saying? What are you supposed to say? No, I don't know what you're saying. Please repeat it 12,000 more times. You go, yeah, sure. I know what you're saying. I'll get those TPS reports. Now, this is not an action-packed episode. I'll read some reviews at the end, some people calling it boring, but it is one of the higher rated episodes because it makes you think, and the character is relatable by the fact that he wants to get away from his life and go to this town that he has dreamed up. So when he goes to sleep in a train, the conductor wakes him up and tells him that the stop is at Willoughby and it's 1888. Now, why they chose this date, I have no idea. It seems really far in the past. When this episode came out in 1960, Gart looks like he's in his mid-30s. So 1888 seems like when his grandfather would be growing up. Maybe there's some symbolism on why Rod Serling chose that date, because you think they would choose maybe the 1930s, a time he could relate to when he was growing up as a kid. But no, we're going back to the 1800s, though this town looks like it could be from 1930 or 1940. He's told that it's a restful place where a man can slow down to a walk and live his life full measure. But while Gart sees Willoughby out of the train car window, he isn't able to get off at the stop. So throughout this episode, he's going to fall asleep on the train, dream of Willoughby, he'll come to Willoughby, and he'll just be a little scared to get off. I'm not sure if this is where I want to go. Will I be able to come back to my old life if I get off on this stop? So it's playing with the viewer, like, is he going to get off and then be transported back in time, or is he just going to live his regular life? And of course, Rod Serling throws a cruel twist at the end. Oh man, I almost wish the best for this guy, but come on, you think he's going to get a good ending? Of course he's not. Main character Gart Williams is played by James Daly, who of course has a connection to Planet of the Apes, played the character Honorus. He is the orangutan elder and deputy administrator of justice. And you'd be forgiven if you didn't know this was James Daly, because he's dressed up like a ape. And so after having some back and forth with his wife, not liking his job, honestly, I think they could have maybe done a better job presenting his life as more dire, because when you see where he's living in a mansion. It's like, just freaking quit your job. Throw some money in the stock market and call it a day. I mean, look at that bookshelf behind him. It's gotta be worth something. Books aren't really worth that much now, but I think back then they were. But as I said before, this character is supposed to be relatable, even though he's richer than the average person. And finally, we get the twist ending, which I'm going to spoil. It tricks us into thinking it's a good ending. So he's on this train, and he decides to finally, after several attempts of not getting off at the stop of Willoughby, he gets off the stop, the train goes away, he's now in Willoughby, There's some kids that come up to him and say, "Hey, we just went fishing and we got a big one." And there's people high-fiving him, and things are going great. Another thing I would have liked to see more is what Willoughby looks like. We see it out of the train window, and when he finally gets there, we only see it for a minute or two. Like, it'd be nice to have him walk around this area more, especially since when Rod Serling did stuff like Walking Distance, we got to see the entire town. Where's everyone? We got to see the entire town. He loves showing us every aspect of these small towns, from the merry-go-rounds to the shop where you buy pop and ice cream, but we don't get to see much of Willoughby, and we get the cruel twist at the end that really what happened is Garrett Williams jumped out of this train and then died. Can't Garrett Williams just have a nice time at Willoughby and be transported back in time? No, of course not. We have to get a cruel ending. He jumps out of this train and dies. Did he dream up this place, Willoughby, and think he was going to this new town? Was this all an illusion? Did he actually mean to commit... Oh wait, I'm monetized now, so I can't say that word. Did he mean to commit, what do the other YouTubers say, self-deletion? Yeah, we're going to say self-deletion from now on. Or was he conscious this entire time and actually wanted to self-delete from the world in a video game? Actually, in a TV show. So I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. I would have liked if he had a nice ending, but the Twilight Zone does that. If things are going a little too well and it's not feeling edgy enough, he throws in something like this. And I didn't expect it either. They cut right to him, dead on the tracks. The police officers looking at him saying, "Yeah, I don't know. He just jumped off the train. No one has any idea why." This episode was directed by Robert Parrish, who directed a lot of film noir movies like Shoot First, Lucy Gallant. Then went on to do the original Casino Royale, his last movie being Mississippi Blues. So this guy knows what he's doing. And let's read a fun review. This person gave it a 10 out of 10. Love this episode. This is definitely one of my top 3 episodes. Most people can definitely relate. What time era do you think Willoughby took place in? Even though I am in my 20s. I wish I was in my 20s. I'm in my 30s. I would love to live in a more laid-back, serene atmosphere. Watching this episode makes me hope I dream tonight of a place similar to Willoughby. Does anybody live in a small town similar to Willoughby? Question mark. Nope, I'm in the city. I'm surprised nobody asked this question yet. I live in a big crazy city. I would love to move to a place similar if it exists. Please be kind and let me know what city, if any. Thank you. Also, thank you to my DVR for recording the Twilight Zone Marathon. It is a tradition to watch it every year. Yeah, DVRs don't seem like they're as important as they used to be. Remember like 15 years ago, those are the craze. You could record anything that you want. I was like, I'll just stream it. But I think what this person's getting at is that this will really affect people who live in a big city and want to get away from it and go to a small town. And I'm sure people who live in a small town think it's too small and want to go to a bigger city. They don't really convey that very well in this episode. You see that he's in a high-rise office building, but it's not like there's a lot of outside shots of the city or him talking about he wants to get away from the hustle and bustle. He just wants to get away from his life in general. Next up is a comedy episode, The Chaser, episode 31 of season 1. That had me laughing out loud. This is actually the type of episode the Twilight Zone needs. We need to lighten things up a little bit. And check out our playlist. We're currently doing Black Mirror, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Twilight Zone, every single episode. And this is going to be a big year for this channel. We got memberships open, so you get the episodes first. And later on, we'll even do things like live streams. So subscribe, and I'll see you later.